It's
Yes.
not only about the picture of the caption or how do you look, but the complete look and feel, Like, I think the industry is looking for that.
Yeah. It's the energy. Because like now,
Completely.
when you look at an Instagram account of a person, or like, or their image or how they present, you can actually grasp already at first glance the impression of their image, of who they are or how they
Mhm.
are. So with this digital age, kids nowadays need to harness the power of image and branding in a way of without losing themselves or copying other people.
Here. So, Riley, I first saw you in Copenhagen. Of course,
Yes.
it was at SAFE because
Yes.
you were hosting the show. I think
Yes.
I love
Me.
this amazing trade show, and you looked unreal. The way you carried yourself, your presence, your energy. I remember thinking, I really want us to be friends. And the next morning, I was having breakfast at the hotel, at the Herman K Hotel, talking on the phone in Spanish. And I
Yes.
think you turned to me from next table and said something about the Spanish or something
Yes.
like that. And it was such a fun moment because the day before, I already thought I'd love to know that girl. And then suddenly we were there, like in the same space, in the same place. So I don't know. Since then, I don't even know how, but we kept crossing paths virtually, like
Things happen for a
little.
reason.
Yes,
And we
of
have a lot
course.
of, the thing is, we have a lot of common people.
Yes, completely. And of course, this that I always tell you, you are so generous, and you are always talking about things that for me are deep and sharp and interesting. So now, finally, we are here having our first conversation. So thank you so much and welcome, Riley, to this podcast, ADN DNA.
Thank you, Alejandra. It's been a pleasure of mine, and it is something that I always been wanting to do, especially in South America. Like I have no like encounter yet, and you'll
Mhm.
be the first. Actually,
Okay.
you'll be the first that I'll be encountering with when it comes to an interview. So and many more. So it's a good door and a good start for me, to get to know also like the brands that you are supporting with, like in South America. How do you guys do like fashion there? So
I know.
I'm so also interested and fascinated with what you are doing, because like I've seen that we have the commonalities of always traveling together in different fashion
Hmm.
weeks.
Hmm.
So it's something that I really value when it comes to people, because when people are at the same caliber as you get to understand them on a much deeper level, because you have the same lifestyle, you have the same people that you're working with. So the language is the same.
Of course. Of course.
So
Completely
yeah,
agree.
very excited, and it's time to slay fears.
Yes. Thank you. Well, let's begin with what lives beneath everything else, I think, your core. What do you consider to be the core of your creative DNA, Riley?
Basically, it's more like inclusivity, diversity, and sustainability. At the
Okay.
end of the day, I always focus on those three key pillars in my life and in my work.
Okay. So, do you think that essence have ever been challenged by others, by yourself?
A lot of times, especially, in times that we have now, like at the end of the day, um, activism is political.
Of course.
It's cliche as it may sound, but when it comes when on standing up for yourself, standing up for other people, standing up for your group where you came from, especially I'm a trans woman and also from the Philippines. It's a third world country, and the hardships of getting no and rejection is what ignites my power within me to always push forward, make sure that I'm not only opening doors for myself, but I'm also opening doors for other people who are like me.
I love that about you. And I think when I start thinking about this, like rejection, I think every story has a turning point, and I would love to know yours. Looking back, what was the first bold move that changed the course of your life?
Basically, when my father died, and also my aunt, who I treated like as my second mom, I grew up with her since I was born, 3 months old baby. So she actually the one who take good care of me because my mom and
Mm,
dad got separated at a very young age.
mm,
So my mom moves to Dubai, and then my dad stays in the Philippines, and it was hard, but this
mm,
rejection didn't start from the outside force. It actually started from my own family, from
mm,
home. I
mm,
felt like I was rejected by my parents. I felt like I was rejected by the people that really loves me, at a very young age. And then after it got moved to school, at school,
okay.
I always felt like I'm different. I always felt like
Mhm,
I'm not belong, like something inside of me is saying something. And then, during high school, I always wanted to attend like different kinds of talks. I'm always fascinated with different workshops. And, I don't look good when I was younger because I was like quite over plus size
mm,
back then. So, I always get rejected, especially there's like commotion when it comes like with plus size before,
of
that,
course.
you're not attractive enough. Unlike
Mm,
now, it's more welcoming and we're embracing now diversity and different kinds of laws. So it's
mhm.
more like a lot of rejections from my inner circle and also from the society, I guess.
And how, for you, how it's like, I think when you do different bold moves, sometimes it feels terrifying, or it
Yes.
feels like, even if you know you're right, you are doing
Yeah.
the right thing. Like,
Yeah,
for example, yes, go ahead, please.
no, 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 it actually hard because like even if you believe in something, sometimes no one believes in you. So
Mhm.
the only choice that you have is to believe in yourself.
And how do you find that power?
By going back to all those rejections, by
Okay.
going back to all the words because they stuck in me. It felt like a scar.
Mm,
Every time like someone I'm a very sensitive person and
mm,
empathetic towards other people. So I can always observe people. I can always see their behavior. I can read people basically
mm.
in that
Like
sense.
the
And it actually
energy,
affects me. Yes, it actually
the
affects
energy
me
of
a lot.
people. Hmm.
So from that, it those scars I use as a foundation to stand up and maybe somehow create a castle with all those stones that they thrown at me and build the success without sharing to people every move that I make, but proving
Mm.
to them that wait, keep rejecting me, I will keep showing up no matter what.
I will keep slaying, like,
Yes, always slaying.
I think that's the great part, when you can find, like, even the beauty of rejection, like, even it's hard, it's like really hard, but you can find your power there. So I think that it's really inspiring. You work, lives between cultures, between cities. How has global exposure shaped your sense of style and vision?
It becomes more crystal clear to me what do I really want to achieve. What
Okay.
success looks like for me. What happiness looks like for me. Because like when you have the world view, you get to have the privilege to travel the world, get to meet different
Mhm.
cultures, different people from different walks of life. You become more humbled and grateful. But on top of it, you also know that it becomes a responsibility. Because before I thought like I was just doing things for out of passion, out
Mm,
of, fun of, being a fashion influencer. But
right.
as time goes by, as I get more and more projects that align with diversity and inclusivity, it becomes activism to the point that it is now a responsibility for me that everything that I will do should resonate with other people. Everything that I will say should something that comes from the three key pillars that I stand
Mm,
for. And this is not easy because you always think ahead. Like
of
what's
course.
next? Okay, what to prioritize? How will I prioritize myself? Because it can get overwhelming sometimes.
I get you. I completely get you. And I think uh, that it's the way I see you, like you are opening doors all the time for everyone. And I think that's amazing. That it's that's the real power and the real responsibility to be there for others.
I guess they said winners collaborate on top. Competitors fight below.
Of course, I love
So
that.
it's all about collaboration. When you get to reach success or like what success looks like and you become clear within yourself,
Hmm.
you don't get to be shy off with what you can offer and what you are asking for the world. And that's also applies to the people around you. You also expect them to be honest, to be truthful, and to be transparent,
Mhm.
whatever the outcome it may become, whether it's good or bad. At the end of the day, you did your best, you did something for yourself, for other people, and in your own little way, let it speaks volume for such opportunities or doors that you can open
Mm.
for yourself and for others.
Mm. I love that. Let's talk about the fierce walker. She's more than an alter ego for you. I think she's a
Yes.
statement.
Yes.
What did she allow you to express that maybe Riley alone couldn't?
To be fierce.
I love that. How
Why?
come?
It's because the real Riley, I'm shy. Like if I don't know the person or if I don't know things around me or if I am
Mm,
new to a city or a place, I tend to get shy and like express myself or
mm,
to introduce myself, you know. But whenever I think about that, oh, I was hired and I was invited as Fierce Walker and not Riley, then I have to perform. I have to
yeah.
bring out the power of why do people invested to get me here in this place? Why do people invested their hard-earned money to invite me to travel all the way to their city and to meet their creatives or meet their designers? So I have to come up with that confidence within me that wait, Riley step back, Fierce Walker forward. It's a
I
switch
love
on. It's
it's a
natural.
switch on. And I think, what do you think? Because I feel the same about me. Like, I'm really
Mm-hmm.
shy. And when I
Yes.
tell this to people, they are like, no way, you cannot be shy. But I am.
Yes.
Like, I'm an introvert, like
Yeah.
I love being home
Yeah.
with my husband, my cat, my dog, and that's it. But then I need to go out there. And what do you think? This alter ego protects you, or does she liberate you? Like
Actually, both.
both.
It becomes our second skin, like
Yes.
our armor. Because at the end of the
I
day,
love
I guess people like us who are always traveling, who get to
that.
meet different kinds of people, who let's be honest about it, we have the privilege to do the work that
Of
we are
course.
doing,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to acknowledge that,
Of course.
in a sense to
So
inspire
true.
others that we are extrovert when it comes to our work, for our
Mm-hmm.
workmates, for our colleagues, for the people that we are working with, because at the end of the day, they need the wisdom, the confidence, and the knowledge from us.
Mhm.
But also, we are introvert as we are, as the person, our core shell, because we know that we don't have nothing to prove, because we already know who we
Mm.
are. We were
Mhm.
secure
Mhm.
with our little own blanket, in like with the people that loves us or supports us, our friends. But
Or-
it's different when things are out of hand, when you are called for work
Mhm. That's where your alter ego start
to come
performing, and
out.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you created something powerful, the Fierce Walker Lab. What inspired and what's the mission of the Fierce Walker Lab?
The Fierce Walker Lab is a content production design agency, and it was actually started during the pandemic because I saw
Mhm.
that there is an opportunity for remote work, remote projects, that
Mhm.
fashion industry and other industries could work even in times of hardship or in times of global issues.
Mhm.
And I saw the potential that I could work with different creatives on different parts of the world as long as we have the internet,
Of
we
course.
get to see them.
Uh-huh.
And it's something that connects me to hire different photographers or different makeup artists or stylists whenever I try to visit different places that I haven't been yet. So they are my first key people to deal with because we speak the same language. So I
Mhm.
saw the potential that, oh, I have the network of different designers and also different agencies that can have the budget for these
Mhm.
creatives. So why not utilize my work and be the bridge or the connector for these people who doesn't have the power to meet some of the famous people or some of the affluent business owners. So if I have the voice and they trust me, I could curate these people or these creatives on such certain campaigns or projects to execute so that they're not only earning money but they're
Yeah.
also building their own portfolio, even they're from, like, let's say Colombia, or let's say Venezuela or the Philippines or Korea, but even I am living in Paris,
Mhm.
and they can
You,
say, oh, I work with Jean Paul Gaultier, oh, I work with
I
Gellan.
know. And you keep opening doors. Like
Yes.
um, I think this is even bigger. I think you kind of, I don't know, spark transformation. Like what kind of transformation are you hoping to spark in others through these projects? Like
I guess
opening these
hope.
doors. Hope.
Hope, because that's also things that I hold on to when I used to work as 7-Eleven staff in Dubai, for a
Okay.
24-hour convenience store. I
Mm-hmm.
also get to experience working as a nanny in Barcelona during the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic because there's no fashion jobs available. So I have no choice but to accept the job. For me, a job is a job. Like, regardless of what job it is, as long as I can
Mm-hmm.
put money on the table for my family and for myself, then I have no choice but to do it. And
Of
I
course.
think this is something that can reflect too in modern times for people from the minority groups, that you can get hope by transforming your way of thinking, your way of thinking when it comes to creativity, responsibility. Like, how can you put money on your table? How can you buy food for yourself, if you're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna work hard, or you're gonna be picky? And this is something that
Mm-hmm.
I always tell to the Gen Zs, like, I'm a millennial, and being a millennial, I know the hardship, the professionalism and work ethic to just do the task no matter
You
what.
need to do you need to do your work,
Yeah,
of course.
I cannot complain. And if I complain, I have to make sure that I'm already in a position to make a complaint. If not, um, I will look so stupid in front of other
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You talk about Jean Paul Gaultier.
Yes,
Uh, you've collaborated with major names. What do
yes.
you think made those collaborations with brands like Jean Paul Gaultier possible?
I guess being authentic,
Hmm.
being me. Because like there's a lot of content creators or influencers all around the world, but they always say that when it is me who's doing the posting or like curating the way I put up my captions, the storytelling that I put up with the images that I show, it's always professional. It's always something that speaks to a global audience.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that because of the experiences I've had in the past. So I have to also make sure that I'm not only curating the way I behave on public, but also the image, overall image, like my nails, my hair, my
Everything,
skin, my smell, like
of course.
it's a total package of
Uh-huh.
being someone that be considered to be a star or to be considered for this kind of project, because at the end of the day, big brands will get you for your image. It's because of what they see in you
Of
that
course.
actually aligns with their also own values as a brand.
And I think it's multidimensional, like I think you are a multidimensional creative. And I think the industry now it's ready to embrace this kind of creatives. It's not
Yes.
only about the picture of the caption or how do you look, but the complete look and feel, like I think the industry is looking for that
Yeah. It's the energy. Because like now,
completely.
when you look at an Instagram account of a person or like, or their image or how they present, you can actually grasp already at first glance the impression of their image, of who they are or how they
Mhm.
are. So with this digital age, kids nowadays need to harness the power of image and branding in a way of without losing themselves or copying other people.
And also I always think about authenticity in every step you take, like you need to be that person, not only to look like, like to
Yeah,
be really authentic. um let's time travel for a moment. If you could whisper something to the version of you just starting out, what would you say to her?
never give up.
Okay.
Never ever give up. Why? When I was younger, I always say to my mom, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm done. Like I
Okay.
easily get pissed off. I easily lose my patience when things gets harder.
Mm-hmm.
And now, upon looking back, if I gave up at the first stage of the rejection or the second stage of hardship, I will not reach where I am today. And now I'm not only transforming myself, my career, my life, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
also transforming now also the people around me. I can get now give jobs to people, not just for myself, but also
Mm-hmm.
for the people who actually look up to me. It's now time to pay back. So
and
never ever give up.
and I think you're shaping a new way to see things, like I think that it's great about you. And um when I think about creative path, I think it's never linear. It can get really noisy. So
Yeah,
what keeps you grounded and creative and nourished when life get loud, like what keeps you there, like really nourished?
my mother's love.
Oh God, I
and my
love that.
mother's support, because I'm very close with my mom.
Hmm.
And
Where is
the
she?
thing is, she's in Dubai.
Dubai. Okay.
Yes, and basically, she knows all my contracts, she knows my career, she knows all my projects, and she knows when I am getting a lot of recognition for such big names like Vogue.
Mm.
Um, she always reminds me like, Ryle, be humble, do the work, and always be the bigger person. So she always reminds
Mhm.
me every
Mhm.
single day, even if I travel to places that I've always been to. She always say, um,
Mm.
give opportunities to people who doesn't have
Mm.
much, because they need someone like you. They need a beacon like you. So my mom keeps me grounded. My mother's cooking skills, the things that I miss the most, is the one that keeps me grounded, that, oh, I'm still a baby of my mom. Even like
You
I
are.
am successful, I am
Yeah.
already achieved a lot of things. Like I always look for, Mama, what is the recipe of your chicken adobo? Or Mama, what is the recipe of your spaghetti?
They are like the premium adults
Yeah.
here.
So um I will not say much about being grounded. Not Only my mom can make me grounded.
I love that. I love that. Um, I think all about you, it feels like your true self. Like when I hear you, when I see you every time, I think you are being really honest about everything. And I love that. I think that it's what attracts me and everyone the most about you. I have two more questions for you. What's the dream that you are still dreaming?
I guess now I want to give more jobs and opportunities to people like me, to women
Okay.
like me,
Mm-hmm.
especially at this day and age where there's a decline in the society and political wise,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the current issues in the United States, in the
I
Middle
know.
East, and
Mm-hmm.
other parts of the world towards trans women.
Mm-hmm.
The rights of trans women is at stake at the moment, and I'm grateful that I live between Paris and Spain, where it's quite progressive when it comes to trans rights.
Of course.
But I feel sad for many people who actually lives in the US or lives in the UK, in the Middle East, who are part of the LGBT community, and also the trans community, where they don't have the voice, they don't have the means to work properly, to have the right opportunity, that even you're part of the LGBT, you still have the dream, you still have to have a better life. Like, we are always boxed that if you're part of the LGBT, you have to always perform, or you always have to be funny, or like,
Mm-hmm. Of
always
course.
cool.
Like the
And you always,
cliche
yes, the cliche, the
idea of it,
stereotyping. Yeah.
the
So
stereotyping.
I was just like, no, I'm a professional. I have a dream. I can have a bigger house. I can pay for my own goods without
Mm-hmm.
relying on other people, but
Mm-hmm.
by the means of working hard.
Of
So
course.
I would love to give hope to
Mm-hmm.
people and jobs, because at the end of the day, the world is round. You can have everything in this world, but if you have the peace, you have something in you that you can inspire others, not
Mm-hmm.
just support, but also the means of giving them something that they can have for their careers, or their lives will change. It is something that makes me want to dream more, to achieve more success, and to achieve more,
Mm-hmm.
not for me, but also for others that also listens
and
and appreciates me.
and I think it's also about giving back when
Yes,
you are in
yes.
a privileged situation to be able to have all these opportunities, all these uh, I don't know, relationships, to be
Yes.
a bridge. You use that word, and I feel really connected with that word because that is how I feel. I love being a bridge of, or trying to be a bridge for Latin American brands, Latin American designers, because as you, I think for all of us, it feels really not only hard, but far, like,
Yes.
so it's, I love to be part of this movement, trying to bring uh, people closer,
Yeah.
so
Being reachable.
yes, reach, of course, reachable, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, you once said strategic with flawless execution is always my
Yes.
mantra, and I love that.
Yes.
What does the what does that mean to you in practice?
It means like on whichever career path you may choose or whichever relationships at work or personal relationships that you may
Mm-hmm.
have, you need to know all the roles.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big game of life. In this world, we're all playing our role. We're all playing our own fate or destiny, I could say. But you have to know all the rules so you know how to break them. And when you know how to break them, you strategically place yourself on opportunities, places, career paths, and choices
Mm-hmm.
that aligns with your clear vision and your clear dream that, oh, I would love to do this. Oh, I should align with people who are also doing this, doing that, people who are saying this kind of wisdom, this and that, or educating myself, or like trying to unlearn things that
Mm-hmm.
are also negative, because we have to make sure that, upon learning new things, we also have to unlearn things that we get
Of
used to,
course.
or things that, we have to unpack. As someone who comes from the third world country, from a
Mhm.
minority group, I have to unlearn a lot of traumas, a lot of anxieties, and a lot of self deprivation, just to give chance to other people.
Mhm.
But by learning this, I also acknowledge that I have to fight for myself and
Mm.
strategically put myself in positions that can also bring benefits and strategic alignment, not just with myself, but also with the
But
people that I would love to be aligned with.
I love that. And do you ever feel like strategy and intuition are in tension, or they feed each other in your progress?
For me, they feed each other because you
Okay.
cannot have both. You cannot have both at the same time. That
Mm.
doesn't resonate towards the other, because there's always consequences at the end of the day, whether
Of
it's
course.
good or bad. But also
Mm-hmm.
there's uncertainty. So even there's consequences, there's also uncertainty that you're not sure of.
Mm.
So it's a lot of factors when it comes to intuition, and also strategy. Because like, if you make a strategy, you know that you are facing consequences. But with your intuition, it is uncertain. So when you have those key pillars, aside from your main key pillars, you get to acknowledge and move with such purpose, inspiration, and values that you will
Mm.
carry on at the end of the day.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, Ryle. Thank you so much. Uh, I really think that everyone hearing is living with something, living with a question, living with a spark, living with a permission to let go things. I think that it's what DNA it's about, the story that shape us. And I think
Yes.
you are shaping a new world. So thank you for your time.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for being a
much.
part of it. And thank you
No.
for your energy and for every time being so generous with everyone.
The pleasure is mine. And this is what I've been saying. Like, this is the start of something much bigger. I'm
Hmm.
very excited also to follow your journey, where you're heading to, the brands that you are also working with. I hope one day I could visit the Latin America and,
Of
get to
course.
meet the designers that you've been working with or the
Mhm.
brands that you are dealing with and know their story, know their craftsmanship, their vision. And I hope your listeners will enjoy this podcast as much as I do. And we'll give them hope. We'll give them the slay, the power, and the confidence to
Of
keep
course.
moving forward with purpose and love.
Thank you, Ryle. You are the best. I love you, and we'll wait for you here in South America.
Yes, thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
Alejandra. Stay fierce.
Of course, always, girl. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Gracias a todos. Nos vemos en el próximo episodio de ADN DNA.